Hello and welcome to this YouTube channel. I will be talking about how to use Revit, create projects and families over the time. But for today's video, we'll talk about some of the settings in Revit, where they live on your computer, and so on. So let's get started with it. First things first, we need to have Revit installed on our system. Currently, I have Revit 2023 installed, and that is what I'll be using to talk about Revit. Upon opening up Revit, this is what you will see the startup screen where it will show you all the recent models that you worked on and the recent families that you worked on at the bottom. On the left hand side, you will see these two options. Either to open up a current model that is saved on your computer or create a new model from the template. And similarly, you get the same options for the families at the bottom here. For now, I'm going to create a new file from the templates provided by Revit. Once I click new, um, this window should open up where you can see this drop down and all the displayed templates that are mapped in Revit settings that we will talk about in a minute here. If you or your company has a specific template that you want to use, then you can select the browse option and select that template from that location and start the project from there. For now, I am going with the standard Imperial construction template. Um, Once I click OK, I will then see this screen with the toolbar from for different disciplines at the top, at properties box on the left, and project browser on the right hand side. Now, I will take you through some of the settings that are preset in Revit and where you can find them and change them if you need to. So I'm going to click on files here, and you should see you should be able to see the options bar at the bottom here. Once I click this, it will open up this window where I can see bunch of options on the left hand side and some customizable settings on the right hand side. We will talk about three particular settings in here: general, user interface, and file locations. Rest of the settings are set by default in Revit based on your computer performance and is not recommended to change unless and until you want to increase the processing power of usage and you know what you're doing. Okay, so in general settings at the top, you can see notifications where you can set the reminder interval for saving your files, when and at what interval you would like to receive them. Recommended is 30 minutes, but you can either increase that interval or decrease it depending on your patience level. And there is also an option to select no reminders, which is not recommended at all. So if you're choosing this option, I would caution advice. And then there is the username. This option comes from your Autodesk account and can be customized if and can be customized. Let me know if you want me to talk about that, and I can create a video for you guys. Moving on, we have these options for journal, file cleanup, work sharing update, and view options. Um, so you can change these settings as well, but it is always better to leave it as you might not know when you will need it. Then we have user interface. So user interface, uh, this will bring up all the tools that we see at the top here, and you can choose to hide certain disciplines if you want to. For example, if I'm a mechanical modeler, then I will not be needing to see these architecture and structure tab tools. So I can hide that from here. And at the bottom here, we have additional settings for views, etc., which would be left as is, but if you do want to change, this is where they are. Also, to set the theme for visual experience, this is where you can change it from light theme to dark theme, depending on what type of person you are, and so on. Okay, moving on to file locations. So this is where all the templates that we saw when opening a new project, that is coming from this location. By default, Revit maps these set of templates that show up at your startup screen, you can either choose to keep this as is or remove these and add the ones that you or your company has, and you can map that in here, so it will show up every time you start a new project in that drop down list. And then here, this shows the path to all the local models that will get saved on your computer, default path for template family files, and path for point cloud models if you need to find it. This is where they're mapped to. Perfect. So that was the Revit settings environment that I wanted to walk you through. Again, there are other settings in here which I don't recommend changing. But if you are curious and you know what you're doing, then you're always welcome to come here and change these settings so that you can get a better performance on these things. Okay, so now let's see where this content is saved on your computer, so that if for some reason Revit decides to remove all these settings, then you know where this live. So I am going to open File Explorer, go to this PC, just right here, this PC, and then go to Windows C, and all of these files are living in program data, which should be visible here, but that program data folder is always hidden, which you can easily go to the View tab at the top, click on Hidden Items, and that should be available for you now. So you click on that, go to Autodesk, and then once you're in this folder, you can scroll to the bottom here, and you should be able to see these RVT folders, and depending on which version do you have installed on your computer, you will be able to see that currently I have these four versions and generic library thing. So I'm going to open RVT 2023 and walk you through all of these folders here. So this is where you're going to see these subfolders, out of which there is libraries which will contain all the generic families that you need, and then there is family templates for in which you can see you will see all these different language ones, but once you select English, you will see all the different category family templates. You can choose any one of them, and then you can create a family for yourself. And then the, there is also this templates folder in which you can see the same structure again, where you select the family, you select the language, and then you have all these templates for yourself. Typically, there's English and English Imperial, and English means it is just for metric. If you want to open a project in Imperial, then you can do that by opening English Imperial. So yeah, that's the overview of Revit and its settings. Let me know if I missed anything that you want me to talk about. I will be sure to add that in the upcoming videos. For the next video, I'm going to walk you through the process of creating workshare models, different types of workshare models that can be created, uh, and the idea is to the idea with this channel is to create these videos where I want to talk to you about in the future about the modeling process, about the tools that are present in Revit, that you can use all of these to create yourself the models that you need or your company needs, and then show these step-by-step workflows that what an architect does, what the structural engineer does, and the structural modeler does, and once all these models are created, how they're linked together. So that is the idea with this channel. I hope you like this video. If you have come along till the end, please check out my future videos and leave a like and subscribe to my channel. um, until next time.